I'm Janet, and for today's tutorial we're going to be using some distressed oxide, and we're going to do a half and half technique using a stencil. So I'm going to start out putting the ink on the stencil, and I'm just going to go about halfway up. Now this stencil has like a circular shape right there, so I can actually see where that kind of halfway line is on there. I just want to ink the front of that up and then go in with my other color and really any ink that will work with water you can do this technique with. All right, so now I have my inks down and I want to spray it with a misting water. Okay, I don't want a heavy load of water. I want a real light mist just to get it wet so it starts to move. And I'm going to bring my tag in, move my ink pads over. All right, so not so much water that it's really rolling around. And then I'm going to lay this right onto my tag, and then with a dry baby wipe towel, whatever works for you, you want to go in and mop up any of the excess liquid before we lift the stencil up. And then, if you want, you can lift it up and take a peek as to how that looks. It's pretty nice. I kind of want it, I think I want it to flow even more than what it's doing there. But that looks pretty nice. So what happens if we now spray this and let that move around? So we have the pattern, and I am now just going to go in and kind of pick up some color to get the background nice and dark. So that original pattern is still there, but I'm just filling it in. All right, so now I have all this ink to clean up, and then we'll come back and work on our tag. So off camera, I tried a bunch of different things, and I just couldn't bring myself to do too much to this image because it is just so darn pretty. So I'm going to add a coordinating ribbon, and I'm going to put some words on the front and be done with it because it's just so pretty. So I have this printable, I think it's in my shop, and they're stickers. I printed them out on sticker paper. So I am just going to put down here that I am joyful with these stickers and be done. If I can get it apart here. There we go. Just a little wonky. Just like that. And I'm going to call it quits because this image is just too pretty to put anything else on it. I'll show you things I was looking at were like this flower. It just left it needing something. I had this little girl. Not exactly the right colors. I was going to go with this, with the flower. Still, I don't know, it needed something, and I like it being plain like this. Now, to show you a few other pieces I have here, because the stencil still had ink on it, I went ahead and made this piece with it. And then the ink that was on my desktop, I picked it up, and this was the big sheet I got, and I cut out a tag thinking, well, I could at least give you guys a tag for this week with this little girl. And once again, the colors just aren't quite there. So we'll save those for another day, and I'll save this to be used for something else.